All right. So, it is a beautiful day today. The sky is blue, the sun is shining. It's going to be 85 degrees today. That's not too bad. Today, August 23rd, 17 years ago today, it was a very similar day. 17 years ago today, it was a blue sky. It was like 85 degrees. It was a nice small breeze in the air. You know how I know that? Because on this day, 17 years ago, I got married. So my wife's over here doing words today. We had an outdoor wedding. We had outside at my wife's, her father's front yard. And it was a good day. It's been a good 17 years. My wife and I went out for a date last night, our first date in 5 months. Because COVID, COVID land's tough. It's hard to get a babysitter, hard to do all that stuff. But we went out, had dinner, went and got some coffee at Starbucks, pretty fancy. But 17 years ago today, I remember waking up on my wedding day, and I was nervous because getting married is a big deal. And I was there with all of my family, my brothers, some of my friends that were guys, and we woke up in our cabin, and I'm sitting out in front of our cabin, and I'm just kind of thinking about the day, like I'm about to make this promise to this woman. Because when you go up, if you've ever been to a wedding, we've all been to weddings, right? The bride comes last, right? Place of honor. People stand up, usually wearing a nice dress. Everyone stands. She walks down the aisle. The preacher guy says, "Who gives this woman away?" And the dad usually goes, "I do," or her mother and I. And the guy comes and gets the girl, and they come to the front. And the preacher talks about the ring. The preacher talks about other stuff. But there's a point in the ceremony of a wedding where there's a time where the guy and the girl have to say some words. You got to make a vow, like in sickness and in health, for richer or for poorer, right? You ever heard these words? And I remember I was so scared of those words because words are a big deal. Like promises are a big deal. I'm about to make a huge promise. I'm about to promise this woman that like we're making a vow to each other. And I'm promising to her that she's the only girl I'll smooch on forever. And she's promising to me, right, the same thing back. I'll smooch on no other guys forever. Now, we have kids here, so smooch is the way we got to go, okay? But smooching does matter, okay? I've had counseling where I'm like, "What? I didn't do much, you just smooched." I'm like, "Oh, blah, blah, blah. That's something." But the vow is very, very clear. I'm promising this person. I'm saying, I'm with you. I declare this day, I promise I will be faithful and true to you. And the expiration date is kind of unknown, right? Till death do us part. So I'm like saying, I'm sitting there on this bench in front of this cabin, and I'm nervous making this promise. This promise is a big deal. If I make the promise, I gotta live by this thing, right? I remember sitting there praying, like, God, I can come to a place of peace, and I'm like, this is right. I remember when she came around the corner, and she came, and I took her hand, looked her in the eye, and I promised her, and she promised me. It's been 17 years, and it's been great. Now, in a perfect world, that would always be the way the story goes, right? But we live in a world full of broken things. People break promises, don't they? Maybe you're here and you're young. Maybe you're here and you've been married and you've been divorced. Imagine someone promises you, "I'll be faithful to you. I promise you I'm with you." And imagine one day you find out they're not. You find out they're smooching somebody else. You find out they want to leave. I had a guy once tell me his wife left. And he said to me, "Ernesto, I fight the whole world. And I always had my back. I never guarded my back. I thought she has my back. I don't got to worry about that piece." So when she knifed him, it hurt all the more. Being betrayed by that person is devastating because they promised to be there. Now, some of us have been betrayed. We know what it feels like. Some of us have betrayed, haven't we? We've broken our promise. What would you do if someone betrayed you like that? What would you do if the person who said, I'm with you, we have intimacy, we're going to share life, we're going to live in the same house, we're going to share our money, we're going to share everything. What that person left, how would you feel? What emotion would rise up in you the moment you found out, when you found out, oh man, they had somebody else? Where we are in the book of Exodus is at that moment. Israel made a vow to God to be God's bride, to be his people. I will be your God, you can be my people. And Israel has broken their vow. Israel turned to a golden calf to worship it, to call it by God's holy name, Yahweh. They broke their promise and turned from God to something inferior. Think about how you would feel if someone betrayed you. How must God be? Angry? Betrayed? In Exodus 34, we see what kind of God our God is. 34 verse 1. The Lord said to Moses, cut for yourself 2 tablets of stone like the first, and I will write on the tablets the words that were on the first tablets which you broke. Remember, what happened is Moses comes down from the mountain, sees the people dancing all naked around this golden calf. And Moses, in his anger, takes the 10 commandments God just gave him, and he throws them on the ground and breaks them. And God goes, listen, I'm gonna do it again for you. I'm gonna give you another set of the 10 commandments. Come on up, Moses. Be ready by morning. Come up in the morning to Mount Sinai and present yourself there to me on the top of the mountain. No one shall come up with you, and let no one be seen throughout all the mountain. Let no flocks or herds graze opposite that mountain. So Moses cut 2 tablets of stone like the first. He rose up early in the morning and went up on Mount Sinai as the Lord had commanded him, and took in his hand 2 tablets of stone. Yahweh descended in the cloud and stood with him there and proclaimed his name, Yahweh. And Yahweh passed before him. Stop right here. Well, Moses knew they had broken the covenant, and God was going to leave. God was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave. You want to do what you want to do? You know, Israel, if you want to whore after other gods, have a blast. I will send an angel for you to protect you, but I'm out. And Moses was like, God, don't leave us. We're sorry. And God said he wouldn't go. Moses then asked to see God's glory, to see God's fullness. And Moses said, or God told Moses, Moses, I cannot let you see my fullness. I'll let you see a piece, though. I'll let you have a taste of my fullness, a taste of my glory. He said, I will pass before you and declare my name. That's what's happening right now. Moses is about to get a taste of God's awesomeness. God's going to pass before him and reveal himself to Moses. God's going to tell Moses, this is what I'm like. If you want to know me, here I am. This is a big deal. I don't know about you. Some people are probably better at sharing than others, right? Some people are naturally like sharing and caring and communicative. Others, not so much. I used to be really bad at sharing myself with people. My wife and I got married. We were married at her father's property, her parents' property. We got married on a Christmas tree farm. My wife grew up on a Christmas tree farm. Every November, the Sunday after Thanksgiving, they opened the tree farm and people came. When the snow came, Angie grew up having like big old Budweiser horses. What are those called? Clydesdales. I'm sorry, I grew up watching TV. Big old Clydesdale horses would come out. They'd pull wagons, and you'd be pulled on this big like a sleigh out to the trees. You cut your own tree down. It was like not Rockefeller. What's that painter guy? It's like a Rockwell Christmas, okay? A Norman Rockwell Christmas. She grew up loving Christmas. Every Christmas, they listen to the same records. Every year, have the same snacks. Every year, it's stocking time. It's, cheese and whatever time. And it's present. So I marry her, and I hated Christmas because of the way I grew up. We go up for Christmas for her family's house, and I would go hide in her old room. And she was wondering, Ernesto, what's the matter? Why do you hate Christmas? Why do you get so weird every winter? Why do you withdraw from me so much every December? And I would never tell her. I didn't know how to share, how to talk about my past or my life. Sharing your life with someone is a big deal. It's being vulnerable. It's showing love. Well, God here is going to tell Moses, this is what I am like. This is who I am. I'm going to reveal myself to you. I'm going to show you my cards. This is how God reveals himself. Yahweh, Yahweh, a God merciful and gracious, slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. The Lord, merciful and gracious, slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. This little poem, you'll see this poem all over the Bible. God reveals this to Moses, and you'll see Jonah sing this song. Daniel, you'll see David sing this in a bunch of his music in the Psalms. This becomes how Israel knows the God who has called them. When God wants to describe himself, these are the words he chooses to use to do it. Now, a lot of us, I've heard people all the time say things like, well, the God of the Old Testament, the God of the Old Covenant, the God in Exodus is different than Jesus. That God is mean, but we have the new improved God named Jesus, and he's nice. And people try to make an excuse for the God of the Old Testament. But we don't have to, because the same God of Moses is our God. Yahweh is, this word Yahweh is the name God revealed to himself to Moses. The I am that I am. This is the Godhead's name, Yahweh. And Christ is part of that. And the God we serve, when you pray, how do you pray? Are you afraid of him? Do you hide your face in shame from him? Is your prayer mostly apology? Is your prayer mostly shame? I would say if that's how you pray, then you have not let God reveal himself to you. Who is our God? He is gracious and merciful. What do these words mean? Gracious and merciful. I'll tell you. This is what grace is. Grace is I come home from work and the kids are playing. I'm like, hey kids, get in the car. We're going to Dairy Queen. Why, Daddy? No reason. I just love you. That's grace. It's just for no reason, I'm going to love on you. That's the grace of God. For no reason, for no purpose, God likes to bless his people. It's not your birthday, not your anniversary. It's not Christmas. It's just like, God's like, ice cream. Straight up. Grace. Gift for no reason. It's unmerited. You don't deserve it. He just wants to love on you. That's grace. And our God is gracious. Then there's mercy. What does being merciful mean? God says he's gracious and merciful. Okay, let's say my kids get a report card. And one of the kids gets a report card and there's some D's on there. Uh-oh. Or maybe even some F's. Uh-oh. The kid's failing math. Oh, man. And I'm like, okay, you're failing math. Well, that means no iPad time. That means no Nintendo time. That means you got to do homework first thing after school, and you don't do anything else till you're done with your homework. There's punishment, right? You done wrong, you get a punishment. So the kid's all feeling sad. Can't play Nintendo. Can't play on my iPad. We have dinner. And I'm like, hey, kids, let's get ice cream. Huh? What? Like, listen, you don't get iPad, you don't get the Nintendo Switch, you don't get into that, but I still love you. And even though you done messed up, I still love you. and there's still kindness coming from me. That's mercy. It's receiving kindness when you deserve a smack in the mouth. That's what it is. Mercy is kindness instead of the spanking. And our God is merciful. Thanks be to the Lord. Merciful, gracious. Forgive that all my metaphors are ice cream. I miss ice cream. I've been to Dairy Queen 5 times this month. It's been so full I've left every time. So I got to think. Okay, so anyways. Merciful, gracious. Listen to this one. Slow to anger. Slow to anger. Most of us think God is like, he reminds most of us of a bad stepdad, right? Always like on the edge, ready to yell at us for no reason. Most of us are afraid that God is going to blow us up when we mess up. We're afraid of him. We're like, man, I'm going to do the wrong thing. I'm going to wake him up too early. He's going to get up and yell at me. That's what God is like. And he says, I'm not that way. I am slow to anger. Now, I am not like God. Anger is probably one of the greatest sins I battle with. I am quick to anger. I have to apologize to my family probably once a week for losing my cool. And I don't blow up like throwing stuff through the window or nothing. I'm not throwing dishes across the room, but I'll snap. I'm like, like a little dog barking, you know. I don't bite, but it's scary. And so I got to apologize. Like anger, I remember watching the Avengers movie for the first time, which is this really ridiculous illustration. Watching the Avengers, and there's a scene where the Hulk, they're like, do something to make yourself mad. He goes, well, that's my secret. I'm always angry. Hulks out and punches this big monster. In the theater, I was like, oh, he understands. Because there's always in me this simmering thing of, I'm always watching people. I'm always like ready to fight. And that's not that comes from growing up here in Flint. I am not slow to anger. But our good God is. Our good God is not waiting for us to mess up so he can blow us up. Our good God, he is merciful, he's gracious, and he is slow to get angry with us. And he's abounding in steadfast love. He's overflowing in faithful love. That's his default, he looks at us and he says, my people, I love them. I long to walk with them and be with them and know them and, yes, bless them. This is the God of heaven as he reveals himself. And our God, you know how we know that he is merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and abounding in steadfast love? Do you know how we know that? Because God's abounding love renews broken covenants. God, in his abounding love, he renews broken covenants. I asked you, how would you feel if someone betrayed you? I have counseled so many people who have been betrayed by the most loved ones, and there's anger. There's so much anger and so much hurt. Like, this person cheated on me, I'm leaving them. And that is a just response. They're a punk. They're a butt. I'm out. I'm out. And you're allowed to be out. But our God is so merciful and so gracious and so slow to anger, and he abounds in his steadfast love, that when Israel breaks the covenant, God's like, let's renew our vows. I'm still with you. I still love you. And every one of us here has cheated on God. Every one of us. It happens so fast. It's so easy to stray away. Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it. Prone to leave the God I love. But thanks be to God that our faith is not in our faithfulness. Our faith is in God. My faith is not in my consistency. My faith is in a God his love is so abundant, he renews broken covenants. And here, the God of heaven tells Moses, I'm going to renew this with you. Abounding in steadfast love and faithfulness, keeping steadfast love for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin. but who will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children and the children's children to the third and fourth generation. Now, this sounds weird, right? If a father sins, his sin flows down to his kids. We all know that's true, right? If your dad's alcoholic, that scar's on you, isn't it? It flows down. They say, sociology studies say, if you were domestically abused as a child, that's what's going to happen. Most of those kids domestically abuse their spouses. The curse passes on, doesn't it? It happens. But listen what, I don't want you to miss this though. God says, keeping steadfast love for 1,000 generations, visiting the iniquity of the fathers and children, third and fourth generation. So basically this, God says, if you're with me, and we're boys, and we're friends, for 1,000 generations I'll remember your children. Curses, 4 generations. Blessing, 1,000 generations, which means his blessings are 250 times more potent than his anger. Do you feel that? That means God loved Abraham, and for 1,000 generations, Abraham's kids are getting that, like, well, how do you say it? Like, Abraham's wealth with God, his riches with the Lord, his blessing flows to his kids and grandkids and great-great-grandkids and so on. God's abounding love renews broken covenant, and this should give us hope. I don't know about you. I need God's mercy. I need it. I fumble the ball in real ways, not funny, cute ways. We fumble the ball in real ways, don't we? We wound our children with words of violence. We treat the stranger unkindly. We allow hatred a home in our heart, and it comes out all over the place. Towards other races, other tribes. God's abounding love renews broken covenants. For this we are thankful. But there's more. Listen. I jump to verse 10. God says, behold, I am making a covenant before all your people. I will do marvels, such as have not been created in all the earth or in any nation. And all the people among whom you are shall see the work of the Lord, for it is an awesome thing that I will do with you. Observe what I command you this day. Behold, I will drive out before you the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites. Take care lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land to which you go, lest it become a snare in your midst. You shall tear down their altars and break their pillars and cut down their Asherim. For you shall worship no other God. For Yahweh, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. Lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and when they whore after their gods and sacrifice to their gods, and you are invited, you will eat of his sacrifice, and you'll take their daughters for your sons, and their daughters whore after their gods, and make your sons whore after their gods. So what's going on here? God is going to lay down once again the stipulations for the covenant. God's like, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to clear the land. I'm going to do wonders for you. That's my half. And your half is to be faithful to me, is to obey my holy commands. And God, in this passage, gives like a weird summary of the 10 Commandments, a summary of the Book of the Covenant. He's going to repeat a lot of weird things, okay? Not weird, just he's going to choose a few things. And he chooses, how do you say this? Because Israel worshipped a golden calf, an idol, God is going to list the rules that pertain to idol worship. You understand? It's like when your kids mess up. If your kid like does something bad, and you bring them home and say, son, daughter, remember this rule, we don't do this. You wouldn't go through every rule you ever gave them. You talk about the rule that they broke, right? That's what God's doing. Talk about the rule that they broke. And God says, you gotta obey. You have You can't have other gods. Why? Because my name is jealous, and I am a jealous God. So our God, in his abundant love, he renews broken covenants. But listen, God's jealous love demands a covenant. And you got to understand that. So when I made that vow to my wife, and I said, I will not smooch, and she said, I will not smooch. Only you will I smooch. It's a great promise to make. That is not a mean thing to ask for. Right? If I'm marrying someone, I want to say, me and just me, right? She's like, yeah. She's like, me and just me? I'm like, yeah. We're loyal to each other and no one else. That's not an unfair thing to ask for, to say, listen, if I'm with you, you don't be with anybody else. That's not unfair to ask for, is it? I'm with you, you're with me, and that's fair. That's kind, it's good. Listen, I'll switch it because I don't want to, that's even, it's awful. It's awful. What are you going to do? If Angie caught me smooching with somebody, and she was like, it happens, that'd be weird, wouldn't it? She should go buy a gun and shoot me. Not the lady, just me. Maybe just in the leg. I don't know. Be merciful to me, Angie. But my point is this. Her being jealous for my intimacy is not unjust. If you love someone, there are certain things that are yours and certain of yours that are theirs, and that's the way it should be. That's a good thing. And the God of heaven calls our relationship a marriage. He's like, I'm with you, you're with me, no other gods. And he's jealous for our worship. Dude, listen, it's so crazy how fast we'll worship something else. I'm driving down the street the other day, and I see this 1979 Mercury. This thing's a boat, man. The hood's probably 12 feet. You know those old 1979 boats? They don't drive them, they kind of glide down the road. Okay, this thing, I saw it, and it was for sale. And I drove by, I'm like, whoa. So I drove by it. Every day, so now I start taking a new route home, drive by this car every day. Well, I drive by the other day, and there's a guy out there, hey, how much you want for this car? He gives me a price. And it's a good price. 50,000 original miles on this car. His dad drove it around, kept it in the garage most of the time. This thing he turned it on for me. It just purred. And I wanted to buy it. Go home and tell my wife, babe, there's this car. It's a 1979 Mercury. This thing is it's old school, the way I like old school. I will be a true Flint pastor. Let me buy this car. Put my dice on the stinking, my mirror. I'll get pulled over all the time I buy this car. Like, it's like, we thought you were a gangster. I'm like, well, I am. No, but as the days go on, I start having fantasies of this car, of like waxing it and washing it. I'm not even kidding. I start thinking about how I'm going to carry the car, to keep my white walls clean. My heart is all of a sudden, I'm like, man, I'm putting my car in the garage, and the kids' van can go in the driveway in the winter. I don't give a rip. My car is going to be safe and clean and no salt. I'm just thinking about how, and my heart, that fast, I'm becoming a car guy overnight. And my thoughts with the car are beginning to fill all of my days. Also, I'm like, what has happened to me? Now, the car's not a bad thing. But it's because how fast that thing became the center of all my thinking, of all my conversation, of all of my wants. I began to think to myself, if I don't get this car, I will not be happy. And just like that, I'm walking off and giving in my heart something which only God deserves, my worship, my adoration, the center place in my heart. And so I had to say, I'm not going to buy this car. Apparently, I don't know how to have nice things. I got to stay away from that for now. I had to lay it down. Because I was praying about it, and literally as I was praying about it this week, this verse came to mind. My name is jealous. I am a jealous God. And I'm like, Lord, you deserve all the best. I don't need this car. put it down. Now, I didn't like putting it, it was like, I put it down. Listen, for many of us, there are things in our life that pull us away from God, and he doesn't like those things. God here says, don't marry the women in the land you will go to, because they have other gods they'll pull your heart towards. As followers of Christ, we can't have things in our life that pull us from him. If there's someone in your life, if there's a person in your life, whether it's romantic or not, if there's someone in your life that pulls you from the things of God, you got to let go of that stuff, because our God is a jealous God. If there are things in your life, I don't care if it's Facebook, I don't care if it's a relationship, I don't know what your thing is. There's something in your life that is getting in the way of you and God being together. You got to jettison it. You got to. Because our God's a jealous God. He does not do well competition. He doesn't. He doesn't want to deal with it. He deserves our great love in return. I jump all the way to the end, because he goes through all the covenant for a while, tells God God tells Moses what he expects. Then Moses comes down in verse 29. When Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tablets of the testimony in his hand, as he came down from the mountain, Moses did not know that the skin of his face shone, because he had been talking with God. Aaron and all the people saw Moses and beheld the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to come near him. I'll stop right here. Moses comes down. The last time he came down with the tablets, everyone was being stupid and crazy and had to blow him up. This time he comes down, they're waiting for him because they love the Lord, want to keep the covenant. He comes down with the two tablets of stone, and everyone's like backing away from him. He's like, what's the matter, man? My breath stinks? What's going on? He don't know that his skin is phosphorescent. His skin is glowing. He doesn't even know that being with God has changed him. Being with God has changed him. Because listen, God's abundant love renews broken covenant. God's jealous love demands a covenant, but God's great love changes all who meet him. Moses was changed by being in God's presence. Being near God's glory changed Moses, and he didn't even know it. Now, I want to rest here for a moment. Isn't it crazy how we can do things day by day, and it feels like they're not important or meaningful? Like, 17 years I've been married. The hardest thing to get right about marriage is the everyday connection, small stuff. Make it easier for us. I go to a gym right here on University called Flint CrossFit. I started there, my brother 4 weeks ago. Now, I'm not in the best shape of a person in the world. So I go to this gym, and they're doing nuts stuff. They're doing, yesterday they had to do these jump ropes. You got to do jump ropes and get the rope under you twice in one jump. Who can do that? I thought it was like a trick, but everyone did it except for me. I was doing the one, and I could barely do that. Actually, I was doing some jump ropes. My calf seized up. It was crazy. But I go to this gym. I sweat so bad. I come home, and I just hate my life because I'm all sweaty and gross and out of breath. I almost threw up once at the gym. I'm going every day to the gym, and I feel like nothing's happening. I go there, I work out, I come home, and I'm like, I'm still a big guy. It's just what I feel like. The other day, my wife comes behind me, and she often will come behind me, and she'll scratch my back. Sometimes she'll even put her hands on my shoulders and give it a rub. And like, oh. Usually only 1 or 2 rubs, that's all I need to be happy. She'll come behind me and just give me a nice, love caress thing. She came behind me the other day, and she gives me a love caress. She goes, whoa. And I'm like, what? Is there a spider on me? What's going on? She goes, your shoulders are strong. Now, as a man, this is a good thing to hear from your girl once in a while. Just her to touch you and go, oh my, your muscles. That's a good day. It's a good day. My point is this, I didn't know it. But as I went to the gym every day, like things are starting to, like muscles starting to form, and I didn't even know it. I see myself in the mirror every day. Like, I don't see that things are slowly changing. That the gym is having an effect on me over time. In the same way, spending time with God every day, it may feel like I go to God and pray and spend time with Him. The heavens don't open, and I don't have this explosive moment every single day. But you don't even realize that being with God every day, it's like being in this oven of His glory. It is slowly changing your heart over time. Being with Him over time, you don't realize He is slowly molding you into the person He would have you be. I don't realize how important being in God's presence is until I stop being in His presence. And the people around me, my wife will say, Ernesto, are you not praying? I'm like, how'd you know? She can literally feel through how I talk, how I live, that me and God are not hanging out. Because I guess I act different. I didn't even know. Even though it might feel so small, that time with God on a daily basis. But being with Him is a crucible. And it forms the heart. We come out of God's presence and we don't even know it, but we stink and shine with His glory. We don't even know it. I encourage you, spend time with the Lord. I know prayer and silence are great mysteries. For many of us, praying for a minute is a big deal. Praying for 5 minutes is like 5 minutes. I've been doing a thing where I set my clock for 10 minutes, my alarm, put it down, and try to spend 10 minutes with the Lord, which is not a long time, but for many of us, we're so itchy and scratchy and like I got to do things, to-do list. Take some time and just sit with the Lord. Just sit with Him. In the marriage metaphor thing with this, the kids go to bed around 8 o'clock. Angie and I have about an hour and a half before bedtime. And for me, I'm like, it's prime TV watching time, right? Kids are in bed, let's watch something rated PG-13, let's do it, it's like, yeah. But she said the other day, she said, Ernesto, the kids go to bed, we haven't talked all day, let's just me and you talk. And I'm like, but baby, I want to watch Harry Potter. But what's crazy is, it might feel like we just talk about, the week schedule. Babe, I'm going this place on Friday and this place on Thursday. But that talking together on the couch for that 90 minutes, I don't realize how it's just joining our souls together. You know what I'm saying? That being connected, that communicating, that conversation. In the same way, I encourage you to spend time with God. Our God is good. What would I say? He is merciful. He is gracious. He's slow to anger, abounding in steadfast love. That is the God of heaven. And you can be with Him. And if you spend time with Him, He will change you. When I meet a Christian who is unchanged in every way, I think to myself, have you even met the God I know? Because if you meet Him, He's going to change you. If you meet this guy, if you meet the God of heaven, He's going to change you. I want to say one last thing before we land this plane. I go to 1 Corinthians chapter 3, 2 Corinthians chapter 3. Because Paul the apostle quotes this moment of Moses coming down from the mountain with shining face. Listen to this. I'll begin in verse 12. Since we have such a hope, we are very bold. Not like Moses, who would put a veil over his face, so the Israelites might not gaze at the outcome of what was being brought to an end. Because Moses, everyone freaked out when they saw his glowing skin. He put a veil on so no one would see it and freak out. He would hide his face. Verse 14, but their minds were hardened. For to this day, when they read the old covenant, that same veil remains unlifted. Because only through Christ is it taken away. Yes, to this day, Whenever Moses is read, a veil lies over their hearts. But when one turns to the Lord, the veil is removed. Maybe I'm talking about being with God, and you'd sound so foreign. I talk about God like a friend because God is a friend. Maybe you're like, man, God's never been a friend to me. I feel far away from him. I don't know this merciful and gracious God who is slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. I don't know him. The only way to know this God is not by being good or trying harder. The only way to approach Yahweh, the one true God, is through Christ. It says that only through Christ is the veil removed. Only through Christ can you approach the person of God Almighty. If you're here and you've never experienced God's kindness to you, you got to go through the door that is Christ. Christ is the only way to this good God. The only way. Well, how do you go through the door? Christ was so simple. He just told people when he met him, follow me. Just start following him. Start reading Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John in his word. Get to know Jesus, and you'll learn how to follow as you walk with him. Follow Jesus that you may be changed by the God of heaven. Follow Jesus that you may know the God we're talking about. I'm telling you. How do you say it? I was over here by the tree singing before service. I started praying. I am glad that our God renews broken covenants. I have broken many of them. I'm glad our God is merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and abounding in steadfast love. And the only way to rest in this goodness, in God himself, is through Christ. Stop living in fear. Stop living in shame. Stop hiding in the dark. Come through the veil and come to God Almighty. With that said, let us pray together. God in heaven, you are the God who renews broken vows. And we are a people who have broken so many. We're judgmental and we're mean. We hide and we're scared. Lord, let us come to you through your Son, Jesus Christ. Let us know you, the God who is merciful and gracious, slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. Let us know you in this way. Let us rest in you, be loved by you, and in knowing you, change us from the inside out. Take our heart of stone and give us a heart of flesh that can beat and change and move and grow. Do not leave us the way you found us. Help us grow and become men and women who look like you. In Christ's name we ask all these things.